Hi, and welcome to my update for the Enjoy Your Eyeshadow project. Normally, I update this project by showing you all of the eye looks I've done over the month, tell you what shadows I used, give you swatches of all the shimmery, pretty shades. But this month, we're going to do things a little bit differently, so stay tuned to see how that goes. Hello, my name is Mandy, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I like to talk about makeup, nail polish, and sometimes things in my real life. This is the Enjoy Your Eyeshadow project. It was created by Deb B, and it is a Fantastic Ladies collab group project, but you don't have to be a Fantastic Lady to join in. It's open to anybody, and it is all about just enjoying your eyeshadow. You can do this any way you want. You can do a pan that palette, a pan those eyeshadows, or what I'm doing this year is a no pan left behind, where I'm working through all of my eyeshadow palettes to use each shade at least once and weed out any palettes that I don't particularly care for in my collection, because the things I have in my collection I want to be things that I enjoy using. So that being said, I am working on 4 palettes and 1 collection of singles from Natasha Denona. So let's talk about what I worked on and how my progress is going. First off, my singles from Natasha Denona I have in this little mini magnetic palette from Mark Avon. And I was working on these 4 shades here. This is sort of a golden tan, a warm brown. Then this one is an orange with a blue shift, and then this icy blue. I did use each of these shadows at least once, so I did complete my use on this. And out of the shadows in this palette, I think I'm only going to keep the 2 mattes. This orange, I did not particularly care. It's more of a topper. And the one time I wore it, I didn't particularly care for it. It came off more blue than orange, so there it is there. I'll give you a swatch of it. It is a nice orange shade, but when I paired it with an orange look, it just brought out the blue shimmer in it, so I didn't care for that. And as well, you would think this icy blue, it goes with what I'm wearing today, but this is one of those sort of creamy formulas, which I find hard to use. I'm having to go in there twice to get anything to show up, but there is what it is. It is just a formula I don't care for. It is too hard to use versus, just a traditional powder. So those 2 are being decluttered out of my palette, and so I'm left with these guys. This is my brow bone shade right now, so that one is staying, and then these 2 are going to be rotated back into my collection and replaced with something else. The next palette I was working on is from Juvia's Place. I'm trying to wipe those shadows off my fingers. And that is the Rebel Grays. It is just a quad of gray shadows, and in case you didn't know, I happen to like gray. So we have one true matte, which is this dark gray here. I really enjoy that. And then this one here is a light gray, sort of a satin, and then we have 2 silver shimmers. I am wearing this one right now on the inner corner, and I really enjoy this palette. It's easy for me to reach for anytime I want to use it. I did use all the shades in this palette because there are only 4 of them, and some of them I did use multiple times, so this palette is rolling out for the month. The next palette is a little bit bigger. It's been in for a little while. This is from Revolution, and it is the Corpse Bride Butterfly palette. A really pretty palette full of beautiful shades. I can't say any of them I dislike. They are all beautiful. I am wearing today this green in the middle of my eye look, as well as this blue was the base color, and then the purple right next to it, this lavender, is blended out in my transition with some of the blue. The blue is very pigmented, so you have to go in with a light hand unless you want to look like something from the 80s. But all the other colors I really enjoy. This one, maybe not so much. It's not quite my preferred color, but it is a lovely shade. I did use all of the shades in this palette, so it is rolling out. The only two that are a little bit difficult are these two here, but they're not difficult, they are less impactful. They're more of a topper shade. They have some pigment, especially the last one. Let me see if I can get a good swatch for you to see it. So this one here is Spell, has a nice shine, but very little, impact pigment. And then the one below it is Heartbreak. And I love them both. They're very nice. They're just, not impact in your face. And that's okay, because sometimes you just need something to add a little zhuzh. So I met my goal on this one, and it is rolling out. And the next one is my Marvicorn from BH Cosmetics. This package is so hard to see because it is so lightly colored. I have this one in, I've already used each shade at least once. This was my Pan That palette a few years ago. Currently, I have two of the shades in for usage goals. One of them is Moana, and that's why it has the biggest dip. It is probably my favorite shade in this palette. I am wearing it today on the outer corner of my eye look. And then the other shade I'm working on is up here is Honey Boo Boo. And that one is one of the few that does not, the only shimmer left is more sort of a satin. It does not have pan. I do have little pan in this one up here, which I worked on previously. I have pan here. The only other shade in this palette that does not have pan is this brown down here, but it does have a big dip. And once I hit pan on something else, I will definitely be working on it because I want this palette to have pans in everything and eventually be used up completely. But so far I'm working on Moana and Honey Boo Boo for numbers of uses, and it is staying in. And then lastly, the palette I'm working on is from Aether Beauty. That is their Moonlight Crystal palette. And I have this in a project, I believe it's in Throwback 30, to use each shade 5 times. And I don't think I've touched it since last month, but so far I've used this shade once, this lavender once, this purple here once, the pink here once, this dark gray twice, once, this dark purple twice, and this darkened purple black twice. So I still have some shades I have not touched yet, but it is a very beautiful purple and teal blue palette, which are all the colors that I enjoy wearing. So this is going to be staying in for a little while. They do have names, I just forget because they're on a little plastic that I stuck up here in the lid. But yeah, this one is the one palette that is staying in. Well, not the one. This palette is staying in as well as the Marvicorn. So I'm going to be bringing in 2 new palettes this month and 4 new singles. So give me a moment to pick those and I'll be right back to tell you what they are. Okay, I am back. So looking at my collection of eyeshadow palettes, it looks like I only have 2 more palettes left that I have not used. So depending on how long it takes me to use the ones I have brought in, then I might be able to have gotten through all of my palettes this year. But I'll have to go back and double check to what I started with, but I'm pretty sure that there are 2 more palettes after the 2 I just brought in. So that being said, let's go ahead and talk about what I'm bringing in. First up, my Natasha Denona singles. So as I said, this brown is my brow shade, so it's staying. These two look very similar to the last ones I brought in, which if you take Natasha Denona palettes apart and look at the shades individually, a lot of them are very similar. So we do have another warm brown. This is a nice beige. It's a little more tan than golden like the last one, so it should be a nice shade. Then we have this shimmery satiny pink, and then this blue, which I think I have used before, and I think it may be a cream formula. Not sure if I liked it or not, but we are going to give it a shot and see what it looks like. I did use one previously that was a dark blue, and I think it worked fine. So we'll see how I like those shades. Next up, we're bringing in a Build Your Own palette from Lethal Cosmetics. And this is very much up my color story because it was a build your own. So I have 6 shades here. I have one silver, a lavender, and a metallic. I'm like, is it duochrome? I don't think so. Anyway, a shimmery purple, and then I have one matte teal, and a light teal shimmer, and a dark teal shimmer. All my favorite colors in one palette. If you want, I can write down what the shades are and put them in a pinned comment for you, but otherwise I'm not going to pop them out to look, but these are all individual singles from Lethal Cosmetics. And then finally, the last one I'm bringing in is from BH Cosmetics, and it is the Venom palette from their Poison Shock collection. And it is a gray and purple palette. It's mostly gray, but some of the grays, like this one here, has a purple undertone, and then this dark sort of blackened shimmer has a blue undertone. This one has a pink purple undertone. This has a pink undertone. This silver is slightly blue, and then this one white is also slightly blue. But I love this palette. It is one of my favorites, and I enjoy reaching for it all year round. And being Halloween time, this is probably going to be a really good time to work on this palette. Like I said, it is one of my favorites, and if I had to only have one palette or 2 palettes, it might be these 2. So I'm going to be working on these as well as the Aether, and then getting my uses out of the Marvicorn, which hopefully this will be done eventually, but it's probably going to be in for a little while. So that is all for my update today. If you enjoyed this style of update, let me know down below. Give this video a thumbs up so I know you like it and everybody else knows you like it. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, I would really appreciate it if you do that. That way you can stay up to date on all my panning projects and any other content I come up with. And until my next video, take care of yourselves and stay true to you. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye!